Hello, welcome to Real Reds Talk. Manchester United have lost 2-0 to Tottenham Hotspur in the Premier League away to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in what was, to be honest, a fucking horrible, disgraceful performance in my opinion. We've got the lads here, Chivy, Nick. We'll get our thoughts in a minute. Get your thoughts in the comments. Get your thoughts on like what we need in transfers because we clearly need players in. We need squad depth. We need a striker. We need midfield. All that sort of stuff. So get your comments in. Let us know how you feel about that game. We'll go to you first, Chivy. I know you had some thoughts in our group chat that you wanted to save for this, so just give us your sort of overall feelings on it, and then we'll get into specifics during the game.
Yeah, I mean, I hope I can get my thoughts out in a coherent sort of manner
Yeah.
because I'm still steaming from the game.
Yeah.
You mentioned just now, like, about getting players in and all that. Like, this has nothing to do with that. Absolutely nothing. Like, this is all today. This is all on the manager. Like, from minute one, immediate. I mean, it was so easy for them to just bypass and just, bypass our midfield because we're pushing so fucking high up. And what I saw from Ten Hag last season was he was able to identify issues and fix them. His in-game management was always on point. I didn't see any of that today, and I really don't understand why he wants to persist with this this new style of playing, which I really don't recognize. We just have a bunch of athletes just running. We're not playing football. Like we, we needed just one calm head in that midfield. Just someone to just calm the game. Just play the ball. Just play football. I don't understand this long ball transition thing that he's trying to do here because it's not going to work. It wouldn't. There was a period where I saw Casemiro, like I saw Mason Mount and Bruno had pressed the Spurs players in the corner, and I was looking. I was like, "Where's Casemiro?" And he was literally at the edge of the box, and I was like, "We're fucked." And as soon as I said that, the ball went over, and it was just a counter attack again. And I really don't get it. Like I understand he's trying to do this whole transition thing, but obviously he can see that this is an issue, and I hope that he takes this loss as a warning sign and reverts to something similar to what we did last season, where we actually played fucking football and not just lumping up. And then another thing that I really don't, no, I'll let Nick talk because I
Yeah.
really can't get my thoughts out right now.
Yeah.
No,
Nick,
just no, go on.
sorry, I want you to give us your thoughts on the game, but I wanted to chuck a question at you as well. Like Chivy
Yeah,
spoke on the midfield and stuff. Is that another sort of example that Bruno and Mason Mount can't play together? But also give us your thoughts on the game as well.
I do. Yeah, I do think that. I do think Mason Mount and Bruno can't work together. But I also think Casemiro was way off the pace, mate, in that game. Like, not just him individually. There was so many kind of flaws to everybody's game. I think the only people again really who stood out were like Wan-Bissaka. Like Wan-Bissaka was fine. I thought Varane in moments was fine. But you talk about the wingers, Anthony and Garnacho,
Oh yeah.
just so wasteful. If you don't have wingers who can retain possession, how do you expect to, have any kind of foothold in a game? Marcus as a nine obviously doesn't work. We've tried that again in the Wolves game. It's just there's too many issues to sort out for it to be kind of a quick fix. It's more of a I don't know what they're going to do, but you can't keep going into games like this with your midfield open because you'll get absolutely slaughtered. We just lost to Spurs 2-0, who, new manager, they're kind of trying to find the feet. And in the second half, really, it was all over us.
Yeah.
They looked like they're a dominant side. We had moments in the first half, but the second half, you may as well have just said, yeah, just win the game because it was fucking horrendous performance from United.
Yeah, no, totally agreement. We'll go through. We'll make it quick, but we'll go through the game.
Can
First
I just
half,
add, can I just add something
sure.
very quickly? Very quickly. I think one of the things I also um, noticed that we have way too many instinctive players going up front. Like it's just players that just rely on instincts. Bruno, sorry, yeah, well, Anthony, Garnacho, Rashford. These are all brilliant players, but they're all like instinctive. There's no, I don't want to not creative, but there's no calm thinker. There's no calm head. Someone to like spot the runs, or everybody's just kick and follow sort of football. And we don't really need. it's important to have those, and it's really important when you have people like that coming off the bench
There's
because
there's no intelligent players, is there? Where they think
exactly,
like plan
exactly,
and think like what we're gonna do.
yeah. Like Anthony and Garnacho would be brilliant coming off the bench, but I wouldn't want to see them starting the game away where we need to actually,
Keep
be
hold of the
very
ball.
exactly keep hold of the ball, just play football. But yeah,
Yeah.
um,
Well, we'll get into the game. Like first half, like we weren't the first 30, 35 minutes, we weren't great, but we created some opportunities. There was the Rashford one that ended up being offside, and then there was the Bruno sitter, which I don't know. I don't know what he was doing. I literally don't know what he was doing. He's clear. He's in the 6 yard box and he heads it and it goes wide. And then literally, like Chivy said, once we did that, Spurs seemed to get a hold of the game because we had the yellow card from Anthony with a stupid tackle, and then Bruno mouthed off and got another booking, and that kind of just seemed to take the wind out of us completely. And Spurs went on the attack, hit the bar, hit the post, were just mauling us, and then we were lucky to go in at half time. To be honest, we were at 0-0. Nick, your thoughts on the first half? Did you like what we saw in the first sort of 35 minutes? I know it wasn't great, but it seemed to be better than the Wolves' performance in the sort of first half an hour.
Do you know what it reminded me of, do you remember when Ragnick had that first game and we tried that Gegenpress press
Crystal
in the first
Palace.
45 minutes?
Crystal
Yeah,
Palace.
against Crystal Palace. And it worked, and everyone was like, oh my God, what's this new style of football that we've never seen before? And it looked actually rather effective. That worked for, I don't know, 30 minutes. There was bits and periods where you could really see that high press, aggressive, winning it high up, and then having them kind of counter press moments, transitional moments. But you've got to remember, this is a team who's coming off like one of the teams who's played the most amount of minutes in Europe. Bruno Fernandes is the captain, played like 3,800 minutes, something ridiculous last season. I think it's taken a toll. I said that against Wolves, it looked like we hadn't had a pre-season. And in that second half, just completely like, you just like it. You just like it. I know we're trying to stick with the first half. I'm trying to not kind of expand into points. But yeah, the first half looked effective in certain situations, but Tottenham was still getting loads of turnovers.
Oh, yeah.
Loads of turnovers. So I don't know how he's going to address it, but I suppose one thing we saw from the first two games against Brentford and Brighton last season, he was trying to play out from the back. It obviously wasn't working De Gea, and then he switched it and we actually did all right. So I'm kind of hoping for a similar thing, but I'm not going to hold my breath.
Yeah, we'll go into the second half. Second half, I don't know what happened. Literally, it looked like it came out the second half and we literally just gifted the game to Spurs because within the first 2-3 minutes they were on the attack and just ploughing through us completely like we weren't even there. And then like Chivy said, we were knocking long balls over the top. That just seemed to be our plan. Only plan is just knock balls over the top. Anthony was being wasteful. Bruno just giving the ball away. Garnacho just ineffective. And like I said, Rashford looks like, do you know when you have to play goalie in five-a-side and you don't really want to do it? That's what he's doing. He's like, oh, I'll do it. But he don't want to be there, man. Like, he's just not interested. He wants to play on the left. Yeah, like he just don't want it. It just shows he's like, not only do we need another striker, we need two strikers, which we've said all along. It's just thing, and then long ball FC. It was just like United Glory TV in the chat. Our tactics were laughable, absolutely, mate. But yeah, you mentioned in the chat, in the group chat, Jimmy, about the long ball and how frustrated we were. Just speak about the second half and just like how that sort of tactic just sort of for me it left a bad taste in my mouth. But yeah, just let us know how you felt about it.
I felt really bad for our defenders because we have really, really good defenders and they don't deserve that. Like they don't deserve to be put under pressure consistently like that. Like we just allowed them, because what happens is then they start to get, you remember when Spurs just had 10, 15 minutes of just pressure,
and Harry Kane would score and that'd be it.
So this is where you start to put defenders under pressure and then they start to make mistakes and things like that. And our defense doesn't deserve that, and that comes from there being literally no midfield, like literally. I remember there was a time when we were just crossing balls in, and I'm like, who are we expecting to head this? Like, Marcus Rashford's not going to get his head to it.
Nope.
Who? Like, who's going to... and for me, what was frustrating was, I understand, like, footballers make mistakes. It doesn't always go the right way. But then, as a manager, why can't you identify this and at least try to rectify it? Yeah. And he waited too long to then make the changes, which I was very happy to see, actually, because I was like, I know Eriksen doesn't have any legs, but god damn it, like Casemiro just needs someone next to him, that he can just give the ball off. And Nick spoke about Casemiro earlier on. Yeah, he was really off it. And if we carry on playing like this, that man isn't going to last this season because
No.
I remember seeing him chasing a ball once, and I was like, this guy is gassed. Like,
Way off it.
he's
Rough
gassed
set.
out. Like, yeah, if we carry on this way, he's not going to last this season at all. Just to sum up the second half, like, you know, it was just sixes and sevens, like literally just it didn't Tottenham looked like a team. We just looked like, you know, 11 athletes just trying to run up and down. And big shout out, I know he conceded 2 goals today, but I was really happy with Onana as well. Like,
Yeah.
the way he
There was
commands
three.
the area.
There was 3 clippable moments in that game. There was the Onana pass across to Garnacho, which was phenomenal. There was the Bruno Rabona where he put it in for Rashford, and then there was a Rashford nutmeg, and that was about it for United highlights. Really, wasn't it? Like, there was nothing else.
Yeah, but that second half was forgettable. Hopefully, this opens up a lot of questions. And I know I've put the blame on the manager today, but I still have faith in him to be able to rectify it because we've played in a certain way before last season, and I think we can still go back to something that kind of resembles that. You know, controlling games, having possession, going into games and executing, you know, a plan where we're actually playing football. You know, because we have ball players in that team. We have ball players. We can do it.
Can we just say we've not even mentioned the handball yet in the first half? The handball. Why the fuck given?
James from the Muppeteers tweeted, didn't he? He said, like, we're not getting a vital VAR decision here because of what happened with Onana. And
exactly.
There you go.
Do you remember there was a game in the Europa League, last year, Sandro Martinez got given a handball. I think it was against Sociedad. It bounced off his thigh and hit his hand, and they give it. If you're giving that for a penalty, how the fuck are you not giving that?
Well, do you remember?
That's a perfect example.
Nick, do you remember the Middlesbrough game with the handball, and then literally the week later the City game, and you're like, how the fuck? Why is that?
Well, look, a lot of people might say, you know, in the last game we was lucky to get away with that, so that's fair enough or whatever. But at least it's the consistency.
Exactly.
Like, there's no consistency with this VAR at all. And it was so obvious that they've just sat there in the VAR room and they've gone, look, we was a little bit, you know, easy on him in the last game.
Yeah.
I genuinely believe that. I genuinely believe they've looked at that and they're like, you know what, maybe not give it. But it's not even a conversation. It's not even a debate for me looking at that handball. It's clear.
I put on Twitter. I was like, I tweeted James from the Muppeteers. I was like, there's the VAR decision we're not getting. And it's been liked by about 120 people because it's just like, it's so obvious that's what was going to happen. The goals, I think the first goal is just like, that it was coming. It was always going to come. And we just were letting them into our box and just letting them have a go. Like, it's like we just couldn't be asked, to be honest with you. And then the second one, Lissandro sticks his foot out and it takes it away from Onana when the way he's going. So it is what it is. But yeah, Nick, what do we need now? What needs to happen next with this team? Do we need reinforcements? Do we need to change tactics? Do people need to be dropped? Like, tell me, what do you think? What do you think needs to happen?
When it comes to football, I'm a fan of evolution. I'm a fan of going forward, and you know, like, sorry, I'm just literally holding the wheel of the car because the windows fell off. I'm about evolution and going forward, but it's so obvious that this experiment has not worked. It's obvious. It's clear to see the past 2 games have been shit. So I don't know if you then revert back to how we were playing last season, but again, it's another away game where we got a record against the top 9 where we just haven't won one. I think we only drawn.
Yeah.
So that's obviously an issue. I don't know if it's a mental block or confidence or whatever it is, but no one looked up to it today, so it's not. I don't think it's going to be a quick fix, to be honest with you. I think it's going to take a while bedding out these issues, whether it's down to pre-season and fitness, and I don't know, but there's a lot of work that needs to be done there, which is pretty scary because after the season we just had, you want to build on that with the players that you brought in, and it looks like we're regressing rather than progressing.
Yeah. Chivy, same question, but also, like you mentioned, it's on the manager today. What do you think he needs to do to sort of change this? Because clearly, like Nick said, the system ain't working, the way he's playing with the 2-8s and stuff like that. Do you think an Amrabat coming in and playing him with Casemiro solves that, or do you think there's sort of bigger issues that he needs to tweak across the pitch?
Well, I wouldn't talk about Amrabat now because, you know, I don't know if it's not unreal. It's not realistic to me at the moment. Like, if that happens, it happens. If it means bringing back Scott McTominay and then playing the two eights, fine. Another thing I'd say is play your best players together. Martial is fit, so play him in the striker position and put Marcus Rashford. Just take him out of that misery because he's not a number 9.
No.
He's way more effective when he plays off the left-hand side, cutting in. And then he has a chemistry with Martial.
He could have had that Pedro Porro defensively is poor. And if you would have had Rashford on the left, he would have had him on a plate.
There was a chance where Garnacho, because in the first half, Garnacho got the ball a few times.
Yeah.
And Garnacho, when what's his name? Onana does that pass all the way over, over the top to Garnacho. Marcus is running in. Yeah. Like just square it for him. And he just hits it really hard, Garnacho. He tries to square it, but he hits it really hard. And and Marcus in that position would have either taken a shot, or if Martial was there, like they have this connection.
He slides it into him, doesn't he? And
I'd rather them play because they bring the best out of each other, and Bruno as well gets the best out. When 3 of them play, they're really good. So why don't you play your experienced players together and just stop this experiment of Garnacho and Antony, because it doesn't work. I'd revert to something similar to what we did last season. I know he's trying to move forward, but I think just something a little bit more similar where we're actually putting the ball on the ground and working our way into defense, because we can do it. We've done it loads of times.
Yeah.
And I'd bring Jadon Sancho back in the team, because in preseason he was the one who looked really sharp in preseason. And sometimes we just need, a calmer head. And but I wouldn't even go on about transfers or anything, because it doesn't look like anything's happening at the moment.
Yeah. There was a couple of quotes from Roy Keane that I wanted to get to, but just while I find them. Nick, we've got Nottingham Forest next, and then Arsenal. I was saying to Chivy, off camera, if we play that against Arsenal, we are getting torn apart and just getting absolute left in tatters. Nottingham Forest next at home. What do you expect? What do we need to do against Forest at home?
I don't know, because Forest are pretty good at home. That Awayini, I can't even say his name. Awayini, is it?
Yeah.
Up top for him. He's a handful. Obviously, the crowd will be up for it. But talk about pressure. What about Rasmus Højlund coming to this team? There's going to be a massive expectation on his shoulders walking into it if he is available for that Forest game, because there's things going about. I don't know. I really, really don't know. You would hope that United can go there and get the job done. We've seen it last season. We absolutely boxed them off, and 2 of the games was 8-0 on aggregate or something. But I'm not confident at all, honestly. I want to change my fucking season predictions now, because honestly, it's that bad. Them past 2 games, really, we shouldn't have any points now.
No.
We shouldn't have any points at all, because that Wolves game, they should have again 2 losses, really.
Yeah, we should have 2 L's right now, but yeah. So Roy Keane, he has said, bringing on Anthony Martial, you might as well bring on Frank Stapleton on Norman Whiteside. I think Man United are the new Spurs. They're desperate. It's easy to play against United. The players aren't up to it to play away from home. Marcus Rashford's like a child up there. Second half, it was weak. No leadership. Goals given. Spurs with magnificent. All credit to him. It's easy to play against Manchester United. On Marcus Rashford, he said his body language and first few touches suggest he doesn't want to play through the middle. I mean, that's massively obvious.
Yeah.
Manchester United were fine in the first half, an hour, but the game is 90 minutes. You're not going to dominate that long, but you've got to show some belief, desire, and fight. So that is Roy Keane's feelings. And then a Ten Hag quote, which I don't know why he said this. I'm guessing to keep players' confidence up, but he said the midfield played well. It was good. I don't know what game he was watching, because they weren't and they didn't, but that's what Ten Hag said, but I don't know what it is. He also said, on the remaining days of the transfer window, it's not about adding to the team. We have to score goals. So he seems to back up Chivy with saying that there's not going to be a lot of people coming in. So I don't know where the goals are going to come from. But yeah, Chivy, just your thoughts on Roy Keane's sort of comments there, and Ten Hag's as well.
It's pretty much what we've said, actually. So
yeah.
I mean, Ten Hag would probably say that to back his players. I don't think he'd want to be publicly criticising his players.
Yeah.
Because journalists will just clip up stuff and then they'll just run with it. So I can understand when a manager kind of wants to back his teams, but I mean, there's certain ways of answering. I don't know. I agree with you, Sam. I don't know what game he was watching. Maybe he was just saying it just to save face.
Yeah.
Thankfully, it's the start of the season. There's time to change stuff. Against Forest or Arsenal, we can't play like this. Absolutely not. Like, it's impossible. We should not play like this. But then one thing that gives me a little bit of faith is that he doesn't reward bad performances too often. So you don't get too many chances with Ten Hag.
No.
So hopefully he makes some changes. We can see some changes next year. If we don't, then I'll be worried. But you know.
Well, as I said, and sorry, Nick, go on.
No, I was going to say, just let's wrap it up if we can, because I'm just on right everything. But go on.
I said in the preview, I said he's going to select the same team, so I think he's going to give him one more opportunity, and I think that's their opportunity. And I think he has to, like Chivy said, he has to make changes. Yeah. Any final comments, Nick, before we sort of wrap this up?
Fucking horrendous. A lot of work to do. Not optimistic at all.
Yeah. Pretty much. Adam is saying, me and Nick pointed out last season with Rashford, 8% of the game, he doesn't do anything, doesn't create chances, might grab the odd goal, but we need quality up top. Huge issue with decision making too, frustrating, holding on to the ball for too long, nothing but giving the ball away. Keshav, Fred would have sweated more than most players today. I mean, yeah, possibly, definitely possibly. Vince is saying, careful with that camera, Nick, with your camera van in the phone bill deal. I've got a new camera soon, so you can see through cars now up to a mile away. So, there you go.
I'm not driving, so. Right.
But yeah, that's comments. Lads, I know it sucked. It's painful to go through that, but we're here through the good times, we're here through the bad times for Manchester United. So yeah, thank you for both for coming on. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
We will be back tomorrow with some sort of show, Sunday social, something like that. So please do join us tomorrow and keep your eye. If anything breaks, we will be here as always. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Give us a like, leave a comment and your thoughts on the game. Follow us on all the socials there. That way. There. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all the good stuff, and give us a shout over there. But yeah, appreciate it, lads. And we'll see you all tomorrow.
Fucking shite.
Yeah.
See you in a bit.